Welcome to another edition of Chillin' with Zone and Company. I am your host, Zone, and today we have Ego, and no Ego,
Here.
with us.
What up,
I'm calling him Ego, but y'all are gonna hear me reference him as Thad quite a bit because he's my day one boy, and I mean, it's very hard to do the thing. And y'all probably like, but he calls you Zone, like that's your name. You're right, it is. It's legitimately my name. It kind of works out. Like, I was born with the last name Zone, so when people are calling me Zone, they're actually using my real name. It's not like just a handle, it's my name.
I'm not gonna call him his first name like that.
Yeah.
That to
Only
me is just weird.
Mr. Wilson does that, and half the time I ignore him when he does it. To be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think he's realized that.
Nah.
I hear it coming out of his mouth, and I mentally do this look like, why are you calling me by this name? But I definitely get the sentiment of it. Yeah. There's a couple.
I left that for like once I found that that's what your wife calls you. I was like, nah, son, I'm not calling him that.
Oh, by my first name?
Yeah. Like, nah, I'm not calling him that. Like, even when I first heard it, I was like, nah, I'm gonna just keep calling this nigga Zone because that just.
I mean, I've always been Zone, like even with my gamer tag. So for those who don't know, I've only changed my gamer tag like twice on Xbox. It was P Zone 1989. You know, I was born in '89. Yeah. You know how original, right? And then I switched to Zone Network, and most people don't know that Zone Network was actually supposed to be Zone Network, but I am extremely dyslexic to a fault. So when I did it, so Twitch is not like the first platform like I was trying to do like the social media stuff. Like back in the day, there was like these other platforms. Like one was called Stream.tv. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it or remember it. It was like in 2008, 2009. That's like when like the actual streaming stuff really was picking up. And I would do that quite a bit. Me and Ego, that's when they had like Mixer and all the other good shit.
Yeah.
We had all that.
Mixer was lit.
And that's where I really picked up with the name. And when I did it, it didn't even register in my mind that I did it wrong. But once it did, I was like, fuck it, because I was doing it for so long at this point, and then I realized I did it wrong. I was like, you know what? I'll just own it because it works. It always catches people off guard. They're like, oh, it's supposed to be Zone Network, and I just smile because yeah, it is, but it's not. It's Zone Network. So I have just been owning it, and I've never changed that one from my Xbox. Now, when you go to like, not Twitch, when you go to Steam or like PlayStation, it's slightly different a little bit, not too much, just a tad bit. Definitely on Steam it's different. I was rocking my original day one name on Steam, and then I just changed it recently because I've been kind of messing with like Shadows and Void stuff and a lot of games that I'm playing. So I went to like Shadow Zone, or sometimes I'll go like Void Zone or Shadow Void, just something. But I always still use my last name because I like my last name. Growing up, I didn't, because I do my podcast every Sunday, bro. So as of now, but if we have enough time and material and people's availability doesn't work on a Sunday, we can always try to shoot for a podcast episode during the week. But typically for like me and Ego, it typically works on Sundays because that's one of those true times that he can actually block off from everything to be like, hey, I need this time to myself to record on something that I'm trying to work on. And that's typically how it works. It's the only time that we know for a fact that it can be consistent. But if we have to, pick up on a different day, we can definitely do that. We just have to coordinate that accordingly via everybody's schedule. Because we used to record like during the week here and there, and it was like a debacle trying to like coordinate everything. So we just shifted everything to Sundays. Because I want to say we were doing it during the week, and then we switched it to Saturdays, and Saturdays still wasn't working. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go fucking Sunday. And Thad was like, you know what? That works for me. It's day of rest.
Yeah.
So he was like, it kind of worked out. I mean, we're still kind of resting a little bit while we're doing our pod. It's not like it's extraneous work, but it's fun. And we make it happen. So yeah, definitely owned my last name, and loved every moment of it since. So there's some things I want to talk about today. My wife actually helped me get some of these ideas, so we're gonna roll some of those. And then there's something I sent Thad to look at, but I guarantee he didn't look at it yet.
I definitely didn't. God damn.
I know it like the back of my head. But before that, this month is October, and there's some good things
that least attractive male hobby shit. That's what you're talking about.
That too. But there was something else I sent you. There was a video a few days ago I sent you so we do a few segments here. So we do, the random weird facts segment. I have my book club segment when we have people who have their own businesses and they want to promote themselves and just get out there. We also have our business segment, interview segment, and then when we want to, do a little deeper thinking, have a little, fun conversation just to keep things interesting, because you got to be interesting. Rather, people think it's weird, we think it's interesting, and it's okay to be weird because no one wants to be fucking normal, right? Normal is overrated. But we incorporated this conspiracy theory segment as well. And normally Thad leads this segment. But I feel like he's been slacking a little bit sometimes because I think he probably doesn't know, or he probably doesn't want to talk about certain things because he doesn't want people to feel sour towards some of our theories. But I mean, they're all great theories. They all could be reasonable. They all kind of seem logical. But it's all talk for us and it's all fun. But it's just something. They'll be like, oh, what if, what if this is really happening? It's just one of those conversations, and they're great to have, great mind-blowing conversation, because we actually get in depth with them, just because we both love that type of shit. He might love certain parts of conspiracy theories more than I do, and I know for a fact I love certain parts of conspiracy theories or the unknown things are supposed to be kind of fake stuff more than he does. Probably as well. So when you put both of those together, it's a fucking great time. It's a perfect time, because we get to sit and talk, and me and Thad, compared to most people, we are very non-judgmental to a lot of things, and being able to just talk and be able to chop it up. Like I'm a firm believer that you should be able to have a conversation, even if it's like a heated conversation debate, without truly getting completely lost in it. If it's just a conversation debate, you just leave it at that. You should not get heated to the point where you want to throw fists. It's a conversation. You should be able to talk about anything, especially as an adult. You should be able to talk about anything without losing your temper. And I actually have something that I wanted to brush on with as well, because I came close to losing my temper this weekend about some shit. So we'll dive into that as well. But before I jump off the rails and go again, let's start things simple. We're going to start with the book club, because this is the month of October. And on the month of October, we have Halloween. For those who celebrate Halloween, it's a great time. You dress up, have fun with the kids, go for trick-or-treating. It's fine. But there's also something else in October, and that is that October is the month of dyslexia. And for those who don't know, dyslexia is a neurological difference in the brain, that, people think differently, see things differently. It's just different. It's a different way of thinking, different way of doing things, that is not to the norm or standard of everybody else. And there's not saying there's nothing wrong with people who are dyslexic. Some people who are dyslexic are extremely smart. Being dyslexic does not make you dumb, illiterate, or any of that. You just have a different way of learning, different approach of how you, do things and how you perceive things. And a lot of people get confused or misunderstand it. And your boy wrote a book about it. his experience. But let's go down the list. So my wife is also an author. She's wrote at least 4 books. I only have 3 of them. Don't judge. I'm not the biggest reader. I like audiobooks. Still elephant off the room here. But there are books that I do read. There are 2 books my wife did that I've read that I enjoyed. Oddly enough, they are kids' books. So, the first book. So my wife decided she wanted to do this series. And the series originally is called Mikey's Magic Box. Bam. Mikey's Magic Box. It is a book. This particular book can be bought. And as you see, this is a paperback. Paperback book. Very colorful pages. This book is Mikey's Magic Book. Mikey's Magic Box, okay? This book can be bought on Amazon. It can be bought on Kindle, but if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. And this is the first book in the series. This started the series. Now, my wife has sold quite a bit of these, actually, believe it or not. And a lot of people have reached out and expressed how much they truly enjoy this book for their toddler. Their kids have been reading this book, 40 going 90, left and right. And she didn't believe me at first. But then one of the buyers approached her, and I told her who she was, and they gave her a hug and everything. They were just livid that they got to finally meet her. The woman who is writing these books, they absolutely loved it. And like I said, Halloween's coming. So what better way to bring in Halloween with a second book to the series, right? And that's what she did. She came back with, bam, a second book. Mikey's Halloween Adventures. Look at that. Bam. As you guys see, this book as well is available on Amazon and Kindle. This book is obviously bigger, has more pages, and you know, as she progresses, I foresee her books getting bigger and bigger, especially with the kids series. And I'm hoping, I'm lobbying for you guys when she gets enough of these books in the series for her to do a collection of, you know, multiple books of her series together in one book. Because a lot of people do it, and I think that would be great. And Thunder, I look forward to seeing you on our next episode of the pod as well. So thank you. So that is for the children. Those are 2 books for the children. She has 3. One. The other one is called Lily. Let me make sure I say it right before I butcher this. Da, da, da. All right. The next book that she has, that's a children's book, is called Lily the Tiger with the Tiniest Roar. All right. And this book is only on Kindle. It's only on Kindle. You can only get this book on Kindle, unfortunately. But it's a small, cute, short book. Guys, check it out if you like it. And for all those women out there who just want a thick book to sink their teeth in, I hope that's thick, okay? I hope that's thick. This book is called Almost Yours, Celine. This book, if I'm not mistaken, follows, or I can just read you the back. For anyone who's ever known betrayal, longed for love, and dared to believe in second chances, Almost Yours, Celine is a heartfelt, slow burn romance that will stay with you long after the last page. I'm just going to read just that because I feel like that sums up, like there's more to this back. I don't feel like reading all that. I feel like that's good. Like, from my understanding of people who have read this book can be purchased Amazon, paperback, hardback. This is hardback, but it can be purchased both ways. And you can also read this book on Kindle Unlimited for free if you have it. Another great book that she wrote make sure you guys go check that out. Moving on to her next book. This one is hardback, and it is also, has a shiny thing to it. Gloss finish, very different than mine. But this is a hardback, also available in paperback. This one is Left on Red. I mean, I guess that could be interpreted a different way, because left on red, left on read. Red. Most people would just say red, but it's spelled the same way if I'm not mistaken. But Left on Red is an unflinching, heartfelt exploration of the messy modern search for love, the ghosting, the silence, and the half-kept promises, and the unexpected freedom that comes when you finally choose yourself. That is just a little bit of snippet what's on the back of the book. Obviously, if you guys want to get this lovely book, you can slide right on over to Amazon and you can purchase this book. Like I said, this book is available hardback and paperback. And if you're one of those people who don't want to keep up with books and don't want to waste trees and paper, that's cool. You can easily slide over to Kindle and buy it. Or if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free right now. So, hey, go for it. Go have some fun. Go enjoy yourself. Cry your eyes out. If you're a woman, grab your nice little book, your nice little red wine. You know how you ladies like to do it. Get your little light set up, pop up on a little couch or in your little bed, and read away. And laugh, cry, enjoy a good story. Now, these two are her women books. Women typically like these books a little bit more. Not saying that they're just only for women. You can read these books too if you're a male or of age and you like these particular books. So if you want them, you know where to get them. And we'll talk about them. And maybe if we're lucky, just maybe, she'll allow us to get some books and, do some giveaways, some free giveaways. As contests for people who want to read these books. Maybe you can get a signed copy from her. So, we'll figure it out. Still up in the air. Let's make sure you guys like these books. And then, like I said before, we are in the month of October. And the month of October is month of dyslexia for people who have dyslexic or who are dyslexia. And that we have my book. My book is it's a small book, as you guys see. It's nowhere near the size of my wife's book. Obviously, she loves to write. Obviously, me not so much. But both books are really good. My book is called Lost in Translation, right? Growing Up with ADHD and Dyslexia and the Emotional Storm No One Sees. This book here, it's like a little snippet, a little memoir snippet of my experience with ADHD and dyslexia. It's not a long book, but it is an acquired taste. So if you're not someone who, is interested in like the neurodivergent mindset and how we function and how we think, this is not going to be your cup of tea. But if you are and you want to show support and read it, you can buy this on Amazon, paperback, hardback, and I think there is a paperback. I gotta double check. I want to say I have a paperback copy as well. And I also have you covered. You can also get this book on Kindle. If you have Kindle, you can read this book for free on Kindle Unlimited. But if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, you can still get it on Kindle. You can buy it digital. You don't have to worry about, a tree meeting their end to make the book. And if you truly don't want to read because you know that reading is not your cup of tea, or reading a book like this is not really going to do it for you, I got you covered. This book is also available on Audible. A gentleman named Robert Ott narrated this book. And I thought he did a splendid, wonderful, spectacular job doing so. So if you have the chance, go check it out. I'll probably do some giveaways for that as well for the Audible. I do have some codes that I can give out for people to be able to check out the book. So if things go well, you never know, you may be selected for a free copy of the book via Audible. But you know, only time will tell. That being said, that concludes the book club segment, which has me thinking about me and the missus were sitting there talking one day. We were driving somewhere and we were talking about accents. I don't remember exactly what truly sparked the conversation. I would have to probably go back and ask her what truly sparked the conversation. But we started to go on this tangent about, you know, accents, you know, and how does certain accents develop or come to be. For me, it was in particularly the Southern accent. Those who don't know, the South in the States, there's an accent there, what you call a Southern accent, and it's very distinct. And when you sit there and think about it, because you know, that's what it was. We were sitting there and thinking, like, you know, people immigrated here from Europe, or whatever it is. Yes, Laman.
You get this?
Yeah.
No?
They were wondering. We were wondering. You know, if people migrated from over there, you know, when they came this way, how did a Southern accent come to be? Like, if you think about it, people who migrated from, you know, Ireland, Scotland, Britain, you know, places over there where they, you know, still kind of spoke English, you know, to an extent, you know, but their own dialect or dialogue, or no, dialect, accent, whatever it is. But then how did they get to, when they were here, and how did all of a sudden the Southern accent come? Because yes, you have all those people coming from different parts of the world, migrating here, setting up the, you know, the colonies, you know, you got North, the South, and do all this stuff. And, you know, people who came here, they spoke, you know, British or whatever, you know, language it was back then. And mind you, the languages back then were considered more pristine, more refined, more, you know, proper, educated on a higher level. And then when they came here, things changed, you know, like in Europe, you know, especially in like England, you know, people say naked when they're tired. And here you just say you're tired or sleepy. And that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's like a slang that's changed over the years to what we have today, where it's like naked. But the people here in the States who started that Southern accent, like, "Here, boy," and like all this, you know, and they're like, "Y'all," and all this other great stuff. Where did that derive from? And me being me, I looked it up. I was like, let's see. And, you know, to my wife, it makes sense. To me, it still does not make sense. And it's not the only accent we looked up. It gets better. But according to the powers that be out there, the Southern accent was developed from a mixture of influences, including the dialects of English, Irish, Scottish immigrants who settled in the region in the 17th and 18th centuries. The speech of African Americans who developed their own dialects, including African American vernacular English. I don't know. It's a V word. I don't know if I can say it.
Vernacular?
Yeah, there we go. English, and the influence of the French settlers in Louisiana. So, African Americans back then, French settlers, English, Irish, Scottish. Something happened, bada bing, bada boom, Southern accent was developed. like if you really think about like the old movies, like, or any like Southern stuff, and you hear like how that sometimes the accent's so thick you can't understand it, that real Southern accent, and you're sitting there like, there's no fucking way those languages somehow created this accent for the South. Like, to me, I can't see it. I personally can't see how that's feasible. So we were, of course, it's like, she was like, look up Boston and New York accents. How did they get their accent? Where did that derive from? Where do you think that derived from, bro?
I don't know, but I'm listening because that's. I want to know. I want to know what the fuck did they say?
So you know, I'm from Boston. You know how they get all loud, and you know how you know New York accent. You know, motherfuckers that have that accent, right? And you could definitely tell. I'm motherfuckers from New York. So the New York accent developed from a mixture of early British influence, particularly the London dialect's non-rhotic, dropping the R sound for speech, and the impact of large-scale immigration, primarily from Ireland, Italy, and Eastern Europe. The Dutch, who originally settled in the area as New Amsterdam, are also believed to have an early influence in the combination factors, including a history of social and economic change that created a unique linguistic identity that continues to evolve to the day. So your New York accent that you developed over your years growing up, it's from Europe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
But no, when you see that, it's like, when you hear shit like that, you're like, okay. Oh, okay. I still don't see it though. For me, it does not make sense still. But for my wife, she was like, I get it, I understand. I'm like, I don't know how those languages, particularly the European languages, transformed to give you a Southern dialect accent that we have today. To me, I'm sorry, I just don't see how that is physically possible. That's just me though. Mind you, I am dyslexic and I have ADHD, so my mind works a lot differently than most people. So I'm not seeing it. It doesn't seem logical to me. It doesn't add up in my head. So
no, mine neither.
I was just curious of like what everybody else thought, because my wife says she sees it, she understands it, and I definitely need to get her on one of the podcasts one day. So I'd be like, explain it to me. Explain your logic of how you see this, because I definitely think you know those two guys that be on the podcast and be like, yo, what's an animal, or what's a fish? A mammal? And like, no, it's an animal. And like those type of dudes.
Peyton and what's the name?
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, because I sit there and look at them, I'm like, yo, me and Thad have that same type of chemistry. But I was like, when she gets thrown in the mix with her friend, and I'm sitting there like, we still have that chemistry. But it's funny because it makes it funnier because she's from Europe. So Europeans typically do view things differently than us Americans. And how we see things and process certain things. So I was like, this would be definitely a freaking interesting conversation to have, because she still has an accent from time to time. She's gotten really well of like masking it, or not making it look so obvious. But she has an accent too, and she can pull them off. So I'm just very curious of how those accents truly came. That's just me. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense to me. So we have someone who is a language major out there that knows this stuff. Please reach out and let us know. I'm going to tell you, my pops. So I think I did tell you.
Well, he's talking about being out there being a hoe.
Yeah, he's like, yo, I miss y'all podcast. I'm like, oh yeah. He was like, yeah, I was out in the streets being a hoe. I was hoeing out there. I'm like,
Typical.
I was like, were you really? But he definitely has some stuff he wanted to talk about. He had some political stuff he wanted to talk about. You know how I feel about political stuff. Yeah. But the stuff he wanted to talk about was actually a good topic. It's just something that I normally wouldn't cover because it's political. But I was like, yo, show up to the podcast, bring it up. I'm sure Thad and anybody else in there would give some 2 cents. And I'll probably sit there and I might chime in on it. But I'm sure they would probably enjoy that conversation because I'm sure they feel some type of way about some things and they have their own opinion. So I'm sure that conversation would be enjoyed. But he didn't show up. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, he'll more than likely pull up in a little bit later.
Yeah. Shoot. That's crazy. There was something else. Oh, you know what I truly detest? I think. I'm not going to say
shit.
hate because hate's a very strong word. And I was always told you shouldn't hate anybody. But what I truly detest is somebody, not even somebody, organizations, companies, people who do not hold themselves accountable in their work environment. Those are freaking crazy. So, you know how me and the missus bought a new car? I think I told you that we bought a new car. You know, we traded out. So we bought a car before we went on a cruise. And the like past week and a half, I was like trying to get stuff straight for this car because, you know, we had tip tags. Tip tags were about to expire. And I was like, all right, cool. Tip tags are going to expire. I got my own plates for this car because I'm going to transfer them over because, you know, I'm prior military. So I have particular plates for my vehicle. I was like, oh, transfer those over. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Easy transfer. They told me they couldn't do it at the dealership. This dealership was Carmax, by the way. Carmax. Keep this in mind. They told me they couldn't do it. I was like, all right, fine, no problem. So the most they could do was to
will be back momentarily. Lol.
The most they were able to do, I forgot to mute that, was be able to register the new vehicle, and then when I got the new plates, take the plates myself to the tags office and exchange them for, you know, the plates I was taking off my other vehicle that I was trading in. And I was like, sure, no problem. I can wait for those tags to come and I'll do it myself. It's quick, painless, not an issue. No problem. Oh, okay. And then like the salesperson was like, hey, you guys have a discount. I can get you guys, try to save you some money. And I'm like, hey, I'm all about saving money. If you can work out some money saving, I am for it. Because why not? So he did like have me like get my, you know, my DD-214, you know, my benefits letter. And I was like, provided them because I'm like, I'm not thinking of it. I was like, in-store discount? Hell yeah, I'll take an in-store discount. Why not? Who wouldn't take an in-store discount, right? On a car.
Right.
You know, you're trading it in, you're putting money down, you're told you get a discount. Perfect. But what happened was it wasn't like an in-store discount, it was a state discount. So being in the state of Georgia, and being handicapped or disabled, you should say, you know, you get certain amenities from the state for military stuff. And one of those militaries is like a break on some stuff for your vehicle. And I was like, all right, cool. I already have it on 2 vehicles or 1 vehicle. You can only officially get the benefit on 1 vehicle. So I was like, all right, I have it on 1 vehicle, but I have my plates for the other one. And that's what I'm trying to transfer over my other one. Shouldn't be a problem. So, you know, we put like $2,000 down in the car. We got the car. We went home. We went on a cruise. Bada bing, bada boom. Then, you know, we are a few months. Here we are a month later. Right before the tag supposed to expire. And I call to make an appointment to get the car work done because there was some like IOUs that were owed to me, or to us, I should say, when we bought the car. Is that we needed some things fixed that they promised they were going to fix. So we went in there. They was like, oh yeah, we'll get this fixed. Couldn't get it fixed right then and there. But I'm like, you know what? While I'm here, you know, it's like the 14th. My tag expired the 17th. I'm here in the office. Let me see what's going on. You know, I had called the week prior before I set up my appointment. They said, oh, it's at the, you know, the DMV, the tags office. They're like 30 days behind. It takes a long time. You know, don't worry about it. Everything's going to work out. All right, cool. Sure, no problem. 14th come. I'm there. 14th is a Tuesday, mind you. Past Tuesday. And this is like past week events. And I'm there for my appointment, you know, and I'm like, I'm sitting here. Let me go to the business office and see what's going on with my plates, because the 13th, we're on the 14th. We have 3 days until the 17th. If you guys don't have a physical copy of my plates, I need an extension because I can't be driving my new vehicle without proper plates on it. And that's like a no-no. You don't want to do that. So you get there, they sit there talking. They're like, oh, we can't give you a temporary tag. You got to go to the tags office because, you know, they kicked the paperwork back prior and something's messed up. So you got to go to the tags office to get the plates. So they gave me some paperwork. I go to the tags office with that paperwork to get my plates. I get to the tags office and they told me, what are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to get an extension because I was told to come here. So they look up my file and they're like, extension for what? They're like, you can't get an extension right now. They have to fill out the paperwork properly. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, yeah, they fill out the paperwork and then they showed me what they were trying to do. And then they said, like, we kicked this paperwork back to them on the 2nd of October. Now remember that date, 2nd of October. Okay. So I'm like, all right, interested. And they're like, yeah, like, and then the guy was looking at the file and I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to get an extension. He's like, yeah, we can't give you an extension to your tag. They're supposed to do that. We haven't got the paperwork, whatnot. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go back. And he said, but that's not the only problem here. He said, one of the bigger problems that I see is that I'm seeing that you live in the state of Georgia. I'm like, yeah, I currently reside in the state of Georgia. That's not a lie. That's true. Oh, interesting. Then why do you have a temporary tag in your car that's meant for a vehicle who's to live out of state? I'm like, news to me. I don't know. I thought I had the regular temporary tag on my vehicle. I wasn't aware that there was 2 different type of temporary tags. So one for out of state drivers, and then there was one for drivers who live in state. But they were like, yeah, this is wrong. Like, they have you listed out of state. And so he went and checked the little thing and he was like, not to me. Then he said, and on top of having you listed, like, you know, let you live out of state, even though you have a copy of your driver's license here in your packet, you have all this stuff in your packet. It's all here. And they're trying to tell you that you live out of state, even though you don't, but they gave you a temporary tag for, like, if you were living out of state. I was like, yeah, I don't. They're like, well, they have to fix this. Because when he went into the system, like, to see what address they put, they didn't even put my address, bro. The address that they put for me, they put the dealership's address as the home address. And I was like, why?
Oh nah, them niggas is on some bullshit.
But I'm like, but even then, the home address is in Georgia. Why do I still have the wrong temporary tags on? So the guy at the tag office was like, yeah, like, technically you're driving your car without the proper registration on it, like the proper tags on it. Because since you live in the state of Georgia, like, if I was to get pulled over, I wouldn't probably get in trouble too much, but they'd question, like, why are you have this temporary tag in your vehicle and you live in the same state? I'd be like, I don't know anything about it. I just know what the dealership gave me, and that's what I put in my car. Because since that's what really happened. So I go back to Carmax, and Carmax was like trying to argue with me at this point. I'm like, look, I literally just left the tags office. This is what they said. Okay, they said that you guys messed up some paperwork, so you guys have to fix it and print off me a new temporary tag. So they're like, okay. They go, they print me off a tag. The tag they print me off is an out-of-state tag again. And I'm like, this is wrong. And they're like, yeah, we have to do this because you're military. I'm prior military. Yeah, we still have to do this because you're military. And I'm like, oh, before that, the guy at the dealership was like, since my driver's license said Georgia, my DD-214 said Georgia, that meant I was a current resident of Georgia. Which by all means, you handle me as a Georgia resident when it comes to, like, doing car stuff, because I live in the state of Georgia. Right. I'm a resident there. So he's like, they did everything wrong. So I told Carmax this. I was like, hey, I was just at the tags office. They said you did this wrong. Like, I'm in the state of Georgia where I live, and my DD-214 says you guys had a copy of this in the back of the paperwork, but yet you have me listed as out of state. still. And on top of that, the tag is not even registered to my address. It's registered to this dealership's location, which is still in the state of Georgia, mind you. So I'm kind of confused a little bit of what's going on. They were like, oh, well, we can't really help you right now. This is our only option. Or they went back because they showed me the packet, and the packet was like, it was kicked back. Okay, now this packet was kicked back. And on the date of this packet that was kicked back, October 2nd, right? At this point we're at the 14th, right? So this packet came back October 2nd to their office. We're at the 14th. My tag expires on the 17th, and at the point that we're at right now on the 14th, we're at the point that I went to Carmax myself to check up on my plate. They didn't reach out to me. I went, and I'm sitting there like, accountability, like a motherfucker. Like, okay,
OD.
like the paperwork's kicked back. I'm looking at the paperwork. It clearly says October 2nd on it, which means that's when they kicked it back. You know, the tags office kicked it back to them October 2nd. And when it was kicked back, it said on the paperwork that they had to redo it because they did it wrong. Because when I was there, and you know, I tried to get my plates, and they came up to me, it was like, "Oh, you got to go back to the tags office because you forgot to turn in your 2012 Chevy Malibu's tags, your plates to that vehicle." And I stop, and I look at them. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Why are you talking to me about my 2012 Chevy Malibu? That's not the car I brought here to trade in. I brought a 2019 Chrysler Pacifica here that you guys took, that had plates on it that I was going to transfer to my new car. So why is the state telling me I need to give up my tax exemption for my 2012 Chevy Malibu and turn it in to add it to this new car when I don't want to do that? Like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't request any paperwork to do that. I didn't authorize anybody to fill out paperwork for me to submit that on my behalf. Like, so why are you guys requesting a vehicle plate information for a vehicle that has nothing to do with this whole entire sale?" And it got quiet, and you're like, I don't know. Maybe that's what you wanted. No, it's not. It's not what I wanted. I wanted to transfer the vehicle that I traded in. I wanted to transfer those plates to my new vehicle. I quote, "You guys said you can't do that in the state of Georgia. It doesn't allow you to transfer specialty plates." And I quote said, "Okay, that's fine. I'll take care of myself when my actual plates come. Let's go to the tags office, say, hey, I want to remove these plates, put these plates back on my car, my new car. Easy done. No problem." That's all that had to be done. But it didn't stop there. Your salesperson thought, I guess, that it was okay to fill out certain paperwork and send it up. And he gave the impression that he was giving me an in-store discount. And I'm like, so you gave me an impression you gave me an in-store discount, which I'm not going to say no to an in-store discount because why not? If you guys are going to offer me a discount, I'm going to take it. But then I said, at no point did your sales associate say it's a state discount. Because if he would have said it's a state discount, what up, Reptar? I would have been like, okay, cool, don't do that. And they'd be like, why? Because I already have a state discount on one of my vehicles and I don't want you to mess up my other vehicle shit. So I would have told them not to do that, which would have nipped it in the bud. I said, the issue is you guys didn't properly tell me you were trying to submit this paperwork for a vehicle I wasn't trying to trade in. And now I'm sitting here on the 14th because I came in for a car repair and I decided to ask about my temporary plates I sent you for a temporary plate because I haven't got my real plate yet. And you guys sent me to the tags office on a goose chase that sent me back here. That said that they sent the paperwork back a long time ago to you guys. You finished a much needed nap. Rock on, girl. I'm glad you enjoyed a nap. Naps are always needed, those power naps as you get older. Not saying you're old, but you know, since I'm close to 40 now, I'm like, yeah, those naps are fucking needed. But and I was like, you know, I didn't request him to fill out this paperwork. I didn't authorize him to fill this paperwork on my behalf. He submitted this paperwork, you know, and it was on you guys because you guys didn't verify with me that that I need to have that done or that paperwork done. So I was highly upset. I was like, so what's going on here? And they're like, well, we need to sit back and talk about this real quick. I'm like, so when they talked, they're like, oh, so what happened was since we didn't do this paperwork the right way, that means when we did the sale, you didn't pay any tax on your vehicle, so you still owe the taxes for the sale. And I was like, all right, I hear what you're saying, but I didn't ask you for a discount like that, a state discount for you to try to take, you know, matters into your own hands and try to remove, you know, information from one vehicle and put it on another vehicle. I didn't authorize that, nor did I request it, ask for it. You guys took liberties upon yourself to do it, you know, without, you know, clarifying or, you know, talking over with me at all. So
Sure.
that's your responsibility to handle that because you fucked that up. I didn't fuck it up. I did everything I did. We put $2,000 down. We already came with a pre-approved loan. We had everything done. On top of it, we traded in a vehicle. So on our end, we did everything we were supposed to do. And I was like, and I was, at this point, I was actually very heated, but I kept my composure because I was like, you know, the whole time I'm sitting there thinking like, I got anger issues and I get really mad really quickly about some of the dumbest shit sometimes. I'm like, this is one thing I can't get mad about. I can't lose my shit. I can't take someone's head, throw it through a fucking wall because I'm fucking pissed. I just can't raise havoc in this fucking place because nothing's going to get fucking done. Nothing's going to get resolved. They're probably going to call the cops on me. I was like, so I'm going to kill them with kindness. Probably. And I'm going to kill them with, you know, education and stuff that I know because, you know, I do know some stuff about finance stuff and I do know how certain things work. And I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do here? Because I shouldn't be obligated to pay this because I didn't tell you guys to do any of this additional stuff that you guys did. You guys took the liberties upon yourself to submit this paperwork. And I didn't authorize this. I didn't tell you guys to submit anything towards another vehicle I wasn't trading in. You guys did that yourself. And they're like, well, I hear what you're saying, but it's still your responsibility. How? How is it my responsibility that you guys fucked up the paperwork? And now here we are a month later after the sale was finalized. You guys are trying to come at me sideways about some taxes that didn't get paid that would have got paid initially at this time of sale if you guys just did what you're supposed to do. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, so this is the problem
about this shit.
I was like, yeah, I was like, this is the problem. Like, you guys submitted paperwork I didn't ask for. Originally, I said I want to transfer my plates over from one vehicle to the next. I was told by the salesperson that I could not do that. That there was no way to do that because your dealership has a thing with the state that you can't do that. So you ring up regular plates and then they take the regular plates after their tags, after they come in the mail, they take those plates to the tags office with their old plates and they do a swap and the tags office will make it easy, quick and painless. When that was told to me, I said, okay, that's what I will do. And at that point, nothing else should have been done. You should have ran the sale like you were supposed to and sent me on my way. Instead, you decided, well, I'm going to see if I can give him a discount. And yet you did paperwork that I didn't authorize and didn't even request for you to do. Because the moment you guys said you couldn't do the plates, I was fine. I was like, I told them, I was like, I was fine. I was like, I had no problem waiting for my actual plates to come for me to take those plates and then go to the tags office and do it myself. You guys decided to do something different. And now you're trying to stick me with what you guys fucked up. And that's unacceptable. I was like, that's completely unacceptable. I didn't tell you guys to do this. And you guys did it. And they're like, yeah, but you know, we were trying. Like I said, I didn't ask for a state discount. You guys approached me as a in-store discount. An in-store discount means a discount you guys provide that doesn't go through the state. That's how it was presented to me. I said, if you would have presented to me as a state discount, I would have stopped you in your tracks because it would have registered to me, oh, you're about to fuck up my other vehicle. I can't have that happen. And they're like, well, yeah, we see what you're talking about. Oh, you do? Okay, so that means you're going to cover this, right? No, we can't do that. We're not authorized to do that. We can't do that. You have to do that. Oh, okay. Well, I want to talk to someone higher up. we're as high as it goes. But you're not. You're a location.
I leave
There's
out
a,
there.
there's a corporate, and then Carmax is big. There's a corporate. There's other people to talk to. They're like, well, here are your true options. You can pay us the taxes right now. Okay. I'm not doing that right now. Okay. What are the other options? You can bring the car in. You can do a return. I'm like, not doing the return because why the fuck would I do that? Because then I would be without a vehicle. That's not fucking smart, especially since I traded in a vehicle. And they're like, oh, or the third option, we can do a return buy again. I'm like, what? Yeah, we return it, then we ring it back up, you buy it again, and we loop your loan or your taxes into your loan, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that sounds like a lot of work. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That sounds like a lot of fucking work, a lot of headaches, a lot of issues that I shouldn't have to be dealing with, nor going through. So
Yeah, y'all fucked up.
I was like, we're not gonna do any of this right now. I'm gonna call corporate. I'm gonna talk to them. You guys need to be held accountable for what you guys did. You guys fucked up. Instead of taking accountability of your fuck up and fixing it, you're trying to shift the blame and weight onto me, which is completely unprofessional, in my opinion. But I was like, I'm not paying this right now. I'm gonna go talk to corporate, possibly contact a lawyer, and we're gonna go from there. And they were like, okay. Like, they didn't think I was gonna do it. Soon as I got to the car, immediately, corporate office, phone call, driving home, and I explained it. And the first lady I talked to in corporate was very understanding. She was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, that should not be happening at all. They shouldn't have took initiatives to yourself. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I can't choke people because I'd get in trouble. But yeah, my pop's like, you should have went up there and choked their asses up. No. I'm not doing that. Yeah, too much to lose. Fuck it up. So I was like, I called corporate, and corporate was like, we take all my information. The first lady I talked to was on my side. She was like, I completely agree. Like, you should not. She's like, that's ridiculous. Like, that they're not picking that up. And I'm like sitting there like, okay, well, maybe there's hope because now I'm reaching somebody and they're talking. There's hope. Something can happen. They're like, they're gonna pass it along to the other people. I'm like, look, it's the 14th. My tag expired on the 17th, right? I was like, I need something to happen now. Something needs to happen now because we're going to get, I can't be without my vehicle. I need to have that vehicle. And they're like, we're going to get someone there. So they called me the next day. I was like, all right, cool. Perfect. Work out. And I'm sitting there talking. And the lady was like, yeah, you're going to have to pay this. And I'm like, this corporate lady, her name was Diane, analyst. So she was like, you're going to have to pay this. So I was like, and so so they called me. I picked up. First thing on the phone I picked up, it said, these phone calls will be recorded for insurance purposes and training purposes. All right. Knowing that. So that means our phone call is being recorded. Those don't know that there's a law in most states, a one party, two party consent. So most people don't realize there's that gap there, right? And with those consents, once one party agrees upon it and they all acknowledge the fact that it's recording, that's happening, and they're both aware there's a recording happening from one party, the second party federally legally has the right to record. They have the right to record, and they don't even have to tell you they have the right to record. Once one party acknowledges that they're recording because they have to record for certain things, you automatically have that same right to record the conversation. Mind you, not a lot of people don't do it because it's a hassle. You don't have to. Most people don't do it, but I'm one of those people that will do it if I can. So I did. I recorded the conversation, and it was funny because she was sitting there and she was like, oh, you gotta do this. I'm like, so what about your employees not taking accountability and you're not making them take accountability at that location for screwing up all this paperwork? So my main issue is that we're at the 14th. My tag expired the 17th. you're telling me I bought my car on the 2nd. Now, mind you, they kept saying the DMV was backlogged with paperwork and that the paperwork was being lost in the shuffle. And I'm like, all right, cool. But when I go to the tags office and they said they've already sent that paperwork back on October 2nd, and we're on the 14th. So, you know, how many days is that? 12? 12 days, right? 12
Something like
from the
that.
2nd to the 14th. That's 12 days. So you had 12 days to notify me, you know, that paperwork was messed up. Yet you didn't. We're at the 14th. Well, now it's the 15th at this day because I'm talking to the lady on the phone the next day. I'm like, we're at the 15th. My tags expire on the 17th. Only reason why I know there was a problem with my tags is because I went to the location myself for a service job, and I decided to go to your business office to find out what was going on with my plates. Not one person reached out to me to let me know that there was an issue with the tags, nothing. There was radio silence. I wouldn't have known anything if I didn't reach out to you guys. Unprofessional, no accountability there of what you guys are doing on no end. And they were like, so the lady like tried to like spin like the story and was like, well, that's the way Georgia has their law and you got to do this and this. I'm like, so you're refusing to take any accountability. Like you're acknowledging your team fucked up. And yet you're still refusing to take any accommodations or any accountability for anything, like picking up the bill, something like anything. And you're like, yeah, we're not doing it. We can't do that. So you, yeah. So I was like,
yo, you good, bro?
so I was like, so your company does something that's wrong. You know it's wrong. You're admitting to me on the phone it's wrong, but you refuse to take any accountabilities to help rectify the situation. Yeah. Okay. I just want to clarify that. And all they're going on, and I was like, you know, you guys record your phone call. She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I just want to let you know. You know, I don't have to, but I wanted to let you know that this phone call is also being recorded on my end. I don't consent to that. See, that's funny. It's funny that you said that. You know, your company records these phone calls. You work for this company. You know that these phone calls are being recorded. By knowing that, and you have access to these recordings because via your company, it's your company's policy to record these, that automatically gives me the right to record it. You can't do that. But I can, legally. I can. You may not like it or agree with it, but I can. If you don't know, look it up. It's an actual law. It's a thing, you know, it's something that you can do. Once one party acknowledges the fact that they're recording, the second party can record the same conversation. And they don't have to tell you. I just do it as a courtesy. But I didn't have to tell you that was recording a conversation. But I just want you to know that you admitted to everything I said, and yet you still refuse to take accountability. And that was recorded. And she got so pissed at me. She was like, but you know, the dealership was willing to give you a rental car and this and that. I was like, they didn't say any of that. She was like, they did. I'm like, no, they didn't. Like, I would remember if someone offered me a rental car compensation, something. There was nothing offered to me. There was pretty much said, you owe taxes, you're going to pay it. That was it. Forceful. Not admitting, you know, or not acknowledging the fact that they fucked up shit, even though it was all right there in front of them that they fucked up everything. It was going to be my responsibility. And I was like, yeah, we're going to see about this. Like, I'm going to pursue this because this is bullshit. So I go back, right, to Carmax. This is Carmax, by the way. Carmax is the worst. Yes, Carmax, I'm talking to you. You guys fucked up. I told you I was going to go public. I'm very spiteful and a man of my word. So anyways, I go back to address this and, you know, take care of this stuff. And, you know, I was like, all right, I'm here to pay the taxes. Friday, it's the 17th. I'm here. You guys' corporate person told me to come here and pay in person. I'm here to pay. We can't take your payment here. The only way we can take a payment because the sale is done is if we did a return. Now you have to go to the tags office to go do this. So the lady walks up to me with this big ass little packet, like, stack of papers, with all the paper from the purchase, the car
Big ass
title.
little packet is wild, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. But she did all that, and I was like, all right, cool. All right. Now you got to go there yourself. Like, you sure? All right. I was like, they're open to 5, right? All right. Okay, cool. Rush there, sitting there, show them the packet. The lady looks at the packet. She's like, what are we doing here? I'm like, well, I just bought a car, and it's like, it's a long story. I'm really frustrated. It's like Carmax fucked up my paperwork, and like I told the same story exactly how it was. I was like, they fucked up the paperwork. They acknowledged the fact they fucked it up, but they refused to take any accountability. And they're like, okay, and then even the tags people are like, they should be taking accountability for this. Like, they should be taking care of this. That's not your responsibility. They fucked up. They should own up to it. Yeah, I know that. You know that. Everybody else knows that. People who work at other dealerships know that. Only they don't know that. So I was like, whatever. So we're sitting there and looking at the paperwork, and they're like, we can't do this anyway. I'm like, why? They're like, I was like, you see this little thing here? And their first thing they said, what about your 2012 Chevy Malibu? I'm like, I still drive that. Like, I don't even know why. And I told her, like, I don't even know why there's paperwork in here for this car, because that's not the car I traded in. I traded in a 2019 Chrysler Pacifica. And she like looking at the papers, like, oh yeah, I see that. She's like, then what? I was like, my point exactly. They took liberties upon themselves to fill out paperwork for a state exemption for a vehicle that I did not ask for, nor give them permission to fill out stuff on my behalf. And she's like, she said, they are real quick for trying to do stuff like that sometimes. She said, unfortunately though, we can't do anything here because, they have to fix this. It literally says on the front page that they fucked up the paperwork and that they had to redo the paperwork in their system. It was on them. Like, I scanned the photo, by the way, of the paperwork, because I wanted the proof. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna scan this. So I scanned it, and it said the first page there, and the lady was like, and you see this? And she showed me the date. We sent this back to them October 2nd. I was like, remember this date? I was like, all right, October 2nd. They sent back, like, now it's like the 17th, like the actual day my tags expired. I was like, and it's like the tags office closed at 5 o'clock. It's like 4:45, I'm in there trying to get this resolved, right? And they're like, yeah, we can't give you tags. We're gonna send you back. And they're like, talk to the tags clerk office head person there and let them know that they fucked up the paperwork. They need to resolve this. And you shouldn't be coming out of pocket, but if they are, they need to make sure to resolve this. It's on them. We can't take a payment from you. None of that stuff. They have to finish this payment the right way. I was like, all right. I go back. I get back, you're looking at me like, why are you here? I'm like, because I was just at the tags office. Just like you guys called up there and told me I can go up there. I'm back because they sent me back. And they informed me that on this front page right here that you gave me, that it clearly says, and I've read it, you fucked up the paperwork. But they said, more politically nice, you messed up the paperwork. You have to resubmit the paperwork the correct way in the system, but you have to do it. They're like, they start hemming and hawing. They're like, I said, but when you do the tags, you have to do the tag the way they want to. Because they tried to have me a tag on the 14th, right? The tag they tried to have me on the 14th was wrong. And I told them that. I was like, hey, the tags office says I'm not supposed to take this tag from you guys because you guys put an S on it, which stands for like out of state. And I need a tag that has a P on it that says I'm a permanent resident here. That's what I need to have. I can't accept this. And they're like, well, that's the only way we can do it because you're military. I'm like, again, my address and the tags office says ignore military shit. I have a Georgia ID. My DD-14 says I'm in Georgia. That's what you go by, Georgia. So I explained this to them. They were hemming and hawing. I'm like, and they're like, well, you still have this paper. Like, and this is why I said you have to redo it and you have to ignore the paperwork that they had because they said this. And I was like, so I'm here to make a payment. And I was told by the corporate office that I can make this payment here. You guys sent me to the tags office trying to get rid of me. Didn't really work out for you guys. So I'm back here to make a payment. And they're like, well, we can't accept this payment because well, you got to go through the loan process again. I was like, they're like, you need to call your bank and see if they will do it. I'm like, no, I don't. I've already talked to my bank, you know, and they would have done it for me too if you would have notified me in a timely manner. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, so when you apply for a loan to do things, when you apply for a loan to do things, you once your loan is approved and everything goes through, once your loan is approved and it goes through, you get a grace period of a couple of days if you have to go back into it to, you know, to adjust stuff, for layman's terms, if you need to. But it's not something that commonly happens. It's a rare thing. So when I called, I was like, can you guys see if I can, you know, do this loan, or do I have to reapply? Do I have to reapply for it? You know, I just want to know. They're like, they look and they're like, since it took so long for them to let you know of the error, you would have to reapply for it. And along with reapplying for it, you're going to get another hit on your credit. And I'm like, well, I just got hit on my credit for the first application that went through. And, you know, now it's going to show that I still have this loan. You guys are going to run it again. And it might get rejected at this point because now I have way too much shit going on here. As back to black, why are we doing all this? It's going to look bad on my credit. Not to mention, my credit score would take a significant hit because now I'll have another hit. Because if you have to run my credit again, that means I'll have a hit on another soft or hard hit on the credit that lasts for like 2 to 5 years in your credit, and it impacts your credit in a negative way. Every time someone runs your credit, it impacts it negatively. I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to do that because you guys just ran it. I got approved. I already have that mark on my credit score. Why would I apply to get that exact same mark to redo this loan when I shouldn't have to be doing all that? And they agreed. Even the bank was like, they fucked up that paperwork. They should be eating that. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not the only person. The bank, tags, people in the streets, like other dealerships, everybody says the same thing. So I'm like, I told them, like, yo, I'm not doing that. That's not a feasible option. You're gonna mess up my credit. That's not a feasible option. You need to find another way. And I said, not to mention, when I talked to your lady on the corporate, and I gave her whole name, Diana, the analyst, all that shit. And I was like, I gave them all that information. And they told me that you guys offered to give me a rental vehicle, and they got quiet. And I said, on top of that, the lady said that I can also make that tax payment here in the location. All I had to do was show up and do it. I'm here. You're refusing to let me do it. And they were like, yeah, those corporate people don't know what they're talking about. That's not how this goes. They think they know the show, but they don't know anything. I'm like, I hear what you're saying, but corporate kind of makes the rules for you guys. So if they say you guys are supposed to do it, I think you're really supposed to do it because they can either keep you guys running at this location or they can shut you guys the fuck down. What are we talking about? Like I talked to headquarters. Like they're like, and then they looked at me like, headquarters. I'm like, yeah. You don't think people, when they get upset with you guys, you don't think they go that extra mile to find the higher up person that they need to talk to get something addressed? I do. And they're like, they just kind of looked at me. I was like, do you know who you talked to? And I gave them a name and email. And he just looked at me like, I'm like, yeah, I actually do research. When you guys, when I get fucked like this, I spend the time to make sure to be spiteful and cross every T and dot every I in this matter. I said, so I made sure that everything was on the up and up before I came back in here. And now you guys are telling me that this corporate person did not know what they were talking about. Yeah, I'm the same. I've done it to AT&T. I've done it to Comcast. I've called corporate and talked to the CEO of a company before, the president of a company before, because of an issue, and they had the matter resolved like that. And everybody's like, "How the fuck did you get through?" That's my secret. Don't you worry about that. But I was like, I told him, I was like, I'm here to pay the tax.
I was an intelligence agent. I
I
know exactly who to talk to.
I was like, I'm here to pay my taxes. All right. And they're like, well, we got to do the math. I was like, no, you don't. I've already had the math done. Like, what do you mean? I called yesterday just to verify how much it was going to be. And it was so funny because I called the first time and I got the voicemail, the message. This phone call is going to be recorded for training and security purposes. I'm like, oh, easy. Record. As soon as I heard it, hit record on my phone. So this guy answered the phone. We're sitting there, we're talking, and he's like, "Oh, it's gonna cost like 1,400." I'm like, okay. He said, but I'm not really sure. I'm like, all right, well, I need to know the exact number. He's like, why? It's like, 'cause I need to pay my taxes on my vehicle. I need to come there, so I need you to provide me the exact number of what I owe. So it went from almost being $2,000 in taxes, because you pay a lot in Georgia, how they have their tax system going with vehicle registration. It's ridiculous. Not gonna lie. I'm sure there's other states that are probably even worse than Georgia when it comes to that, but it was up there. So this guy comes back and he was like, he gives me a lower amount, and I'm sitting there. I was like, yeah, man. It's like, it's a shame I got to do all this. It's like, you guys messed up the paperwork, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah. I was like, and it's a shame you guys aren't picking this up, because you guys screwed up this paperwork. And he's like, yeah, I understand. I'm like, so you're acknowledging the fact you guys fucked up? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. That's all I need to hear. I was like, I was like, okay. And we got off the phone. I was like, I'm gonna be up there, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, this another employee just throwing himself under the bus, on the recorded lines again. I'm like, okay. So I get on Friday when I'm there and I'm doing all this paperwork, we're like going back and forth. They finally get me a new salesperson, because I'm like, something needs to happen. Like, I'm not leaving here without the proper tag. Like, I've done everything you guys asked for. I'm here. The only thing we're not doing is we're not going back to the bank. That's not an option. You guys need to figure it out. I didn't fuck up the paperwork. You guys fucked it up. So you guys need to find a solution to fix it so everybody's happy. And they're like, well, we can do a complete return. I'm like, I'm listening. And they're like, but it's not gonna be. Well, don't worry, we're not gonna go through your bank. We're gonna do a store credit return, so that way that we get all the stuff back, and then we'll redo it all, and we'll tie in the tax into it. I'm like, but why? When you could just tender a payment for the amount that's due, and I have to do all that. Like, why do we have to return the vehicle and do all this paperwork again just to add the taxes on? Like, that makes no fucking sense to me. That was a complete waste of time. They're like, well, that's the only way we could process it to get the tags done for you. I'm like, that sounds yeah, that's exactly, because they didn't want to do it. I was like, that just sounds like bullshit. And I was like, all right. So then they give me another salesperson, and this salesperson's paramilitary, and we're sitting there talking. He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna take care of you. He's like, I see the problem. He said, I understand everybody's fucked up. And he said, the issue is that the office that does all the paperwork, they should look at all the paperwork and made sure everything was fine before they ran it through. And he said, I understand the salesperson as well, because the salesperson thought he was doing you a solid, And I said, I get that, but at the same time, I'm not happy with him either. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, because I said, the matter of the fact is that he told me when I asked about the plates, because I was trading in the vehicle, because I kind of gave him a little rundown. I was like, he told me that, he couldn't do the plate transfer for me.
So yeah, install credit kind of thing, yeah.
Well, not even before that. I said, because the whole plate thing was for another vehicle. I was like, when he told me he couldn't do the plates whatsoever because their location couldn't do it due to the type of plates I had, and I said, okay, fine, I'll just wait for me to get your guys' plate and I'll go handle it myself. That should have been it. There should have been nothing more that needed to be done. Knowing that, he should have just ran everything like he was supposed to run it and let me be on my way. And like, I get you're trying to do, a veteran a solid, give him a discount. I get that. But if you already tell them that you can't do one thing concerning the plates and they accept that, then you shouldn't try to do anything else without completely giving them acknowledgement that you're doing this and making sure it's okay. And the fact that he did it without double checking with me to make sure it was okay is where the problem is. And I said, now, I told him, I said, now, if he would have told me exactly what he was doing before he attempted to try to do it, I would have stopped him. Because anybody who's military knows the stuff about their benefits, about how certain things work. So if you're very straightforward about certain things, what was the solution? The solution was we did the whole return the right way, which was so fucking stupid in my opinion. And I ended up having to pay, and I was like, I'm still gonna pursue this. I'm gonna make it be known. And then it was like, Yeah, they made me run. The running around was the wildest part for me. I was extremely pissed about that. But the my issue for that was, you know, they were like, we'll credit you like a dinner. I'm like, I'm just trying to get the fuck out here at this point and go home. Like, they're like, well, we need your wife to come in and do some paperwork, and we need her to do this, and we need her to do that. And I'm like, why? I was like, why do we have to redo all this paperwork? Like, let's be honest here. Like, I really don't want to have to do this resell thing. To me, it made no sense to do any of that because they could just ring it up, because people were coming in to make payments, on car payments, and you could just ring up like a car payment and just send it over and put it in your guys' system the way it needed to be put in there. I was like, and when they were like, well, we do all the return, I'm like, so you want me to do all the return, which means you got to return me the 2K back, which takes, and I think they forgot that we had put money down. Cause like that means you have to return everything, which we put 2K down. So that way you have to return us a 2K, which would take about like 7 days, hit the make and count for us to finally go back through all. They got quiet. I'm like, you know, you're trying to patronize me, and I'm just let you guys know, I do have degrees. I have an I have accounting degrees. I have a business administration degree. Like, I know how this stuff kind of works, you know. And they got quiet. I'm like, I'm not just no dummy coming in here telling you guys how things are going. Like, I know this stuff. And, and they're like, we completely understand it. Like, if you understood, then you'd be fixing it and taking accountability. But I said, but since you're not, I'm gonna be spiteful at this point, and I'm gonna make sure to put it out there and, you know, go from there. And they were just so upset about that. They're like, I can't believe you'll do that. Yes, I will. And anybody who says they're not gonna do that shit, they're lying to their fucking teeth, because if you fuck somebody over that bad, and this shit could have went really bad if I didn't get my plates or anything like that, especially since they were not being cooperative with the stuff. I'm like, I would have been out a vehicle, you know, with kids and whatnot. It's like, I couldn't do that. I was like, not to mention, since you guys fucked up that paperwork and that tax money, you guys should have ate that. That was your fuck up. And from every finance standpoint, for everybody else that was looking at it, they were like, yeah, they should have ate that. Like, most places would eat that, because, yeah, you didn't authorize to do this paperwork. If you had already accepted the fact for like not getting your plates right away because they couldn't do it, that should have been it. Like, there was no reason to do all this other stuff, and yet they did it without your consent. So they should have ate that, but they didn't want to. So that was fucking shitty on them. But I made sure to let them know, and they're like, oh, have your wife come. I'm like, man, she's gonna be pissed, bro. Like, she's more pissed than I am. And I was just saying that because I didn't want to go back home and get her, but I was like, I know she's pissed, and I know I'm pissed. And they're like, you don't look pissed. I'm like, I was like, that's the trick. And I'm extremely pissed, but I also know coming in here swinging on you guys and choking y'all up and doing all this crazy shit, it's not gonna get anything resolved for me. So I'm here calm, handling this stuff, probably a lot calmer than most people would be. But only reason why, because I know that I'm right about these situations. And there's no reason for me to step out of pocket when I know I'm right about something that you guys aren't holding, you're not trying to be accountable for. And I was like, you guys just got to figure it out. I said, if this is how you guys conduct business, this is very wrong. I don't know how you guys are still running if this is how you guys do business on a regular basis. Like, maybe not enough people are complaining about you guys, but I will complain. I will make a spectacle because I am spiteful when I need to be.
For sure. You gotta be. Especially when you have people that's intentionally trying to screw you over. Like, legit, that don't even, it sound more like the dude who was quote unquote trying to do you a solid was more trying to line his own pockets, because I'm pretty sure he gets some level of compensation for giving that state tax exemption or whatever the fuck. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why he was doing it.
I'm pretty sure too. And I you know, part of me was like, and the worst part was listening to the other salesperson tell me like how they were trying to pin all of it on the salesperson, and then the salesperson was trying to pin it on them. I'm like, yo, that goes to show you there's no cohesionness whatsoever there.
Yeah, I don't have no kind of dialect between the two.
Yeah, I was like you're not trying to back your salesperson whatsoever, nor are you trying to hold neither one of each other accountable. I was like, you guys both fucked up on both ends. Like, I was very straightforward of what I wanted to have done, and how I wanted it to be done, I left no room for error whatsoever. The fact that you guys still fucked that up and you're pointing fingers at each other, we have a big problem here. And the funniest part is when they were bashing corporate at the location. I was like, the fact that corporate tells me to come here and do stuff and you're disagreeing, telling me that corporate doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Corporate. And I get that corporate
checks.
I was like, I get that corporate, you know, is a bigger thing and they're out of the loop sometimes of how the inner workings go at certain locations. I get that. But they're still corporate.
Yeah,
like if corporate tells you to jump because you're part of that corporate, you know, corporatization.
Yeah, underneath that umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, how high you need me to jump, motherfucker? like, let's get this done. That's what they should have been like. But they're like, nah, we don't care. Like, they weren't offering up the rental and none of that stuff. I was like, this is fucking wild. I was like, I had no choice but get it done. But luckily, I was on business and I was very firm on what the tax people said. And I let it be known that either way, whether it got resolved or not, I was going public with this. It was just going to depend on how it's going to look after the fact. Now, mind you, yes, at the end of the day, we got the car done, whatnot. Am I happy with them? Absolutely fucking not. Am I okay with that? The stuff's finally taken care of? Yes, because now I don't have nothing to worry about with the vehicle at the moment because it's registered the right way. But for me, I told the corporate person, like, my vehicle was registered the wrong way. Everything was registered the wrong way. So for like a month, I was driving a vehicle with temporary plates on that wasn't even registered properly. I was like, and that's the fucked up part about it. I was like, here's one. The tags office, when I went to go get the tags the first time, the temporary, they're like, you have a temporary that goes until November 14th. I'm like, no, I don't. The one on my vehicle expires the 17th of December. And they're like, well, there's another one here for you. I'm like, I never got it. And then she said, and she was like, it was an S on it. I'm like, yeah, that's another out of state one. She was like, yeah. And then that's when she looked up and realized that the dealership on that paperwork that they were supposed to put my address for it, even though they had like all my IDs with all the addresses and whatnot on it, and they didn't put any of my address. That's when they decided to put their address for their business on my temporary tag. And the tags office was like, why did they do that? That's very unprofessional. That's not how they're supposed to do it. I'm like, I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
What if they was trying to set motherfuckers up? Conspiracy time. What if they was trying to set motherfuckers up with the well, you know what? You drive off in this car, and if we decide, hey, yeah, we gonna register this shit stolen. Or if anything happens, it'll get brought right back over here instead of it being. And
that's why I drove around in that vehicle with all paperwork to show that I bought that vehicle. I made sure I keep it in the glove box until I get my actual plates. I'm not playing any of these games.
Yeah, I don't blame you because that's some bullshit.
Let's see.
Bullshit.
Yeah, bro, it was something. I ain't never been so pissed. Like I don't know if you ever like see someone when they get pissed and you can see like the rage building up, like they're about to explode, and then you see that person like just containing it, and you're like, oh shit, he's going to explode, and you're like, I hope I'm not the one he explodes on. Like you can just see it in my face, and I know every time they talked to me and I took a deep breath, I think they were expecting me to like yell at them. But surprisingly, I was able to keep my composure with it. And, you know, and I thought it was going to be a lot harder because I do have anger issues. So I thought it was going to be a lot harder than possible to do. I was actually impressed with myself that I was able to keep my composure the whole time. And when I just kept laying facts out, like I wasn't giving no room for error. Everything they told me that was wrong, I rebutted it with something of actual facts. And they just got quiet and looked at me. I was like, you're telling me something, and then you're agreeing to what I'm saying, but at the same time, you're trying to backstep. You're trying to backstep from it and like make it seem like it's something that happens on a regular basis when that's not. I don't know anybody who goes to buy a car and has a salesperson automatically tries to fill out paperwork to remove paperwork from a vehicle that they're not traded in. Like, I've never seen that happen before. I told him, like, I've worked at a dealership before. I've seen the inner workings of dealerships and how this shit works. Like, I'm not brand new to this shit. And they're like, "Oh, you did?" I'm like, "Yeah." In Chicago, where I'm from, I worked at a dealership. I was a service manager, buy a shop manager. I've seen this shit. I've seen the workings on the inside. Hell, when I go visit my pops from time to time, and he's at work, and I went to work with them, and they were like, "Yo, you're here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm visiting." They're like, "Can you help?" "Yeah, I have no problem helping. I'm here. No problem." Like, nothing, because I know the inner workings of most of the shit, so there's no fucking problem. But at the same time, I'm not gonna let someone walk up to me and just look at me and assume that I don't know shit and think they're gonna pull a quick one on me. Absolutely fucking not. Mm-mm. And I like to play dumb. I'll play dumb to the fullest. I will act like I don't know shit and let someone think they got the upper hand until the last minute. I will do that because I was always told you ain't always gotta let everybody know everything you know. Sometimes it's good to sit quiet and just watch and wait for your moment. And that's one thing I do like to do. Sometimes I like to sit quietly and just wait. And just wait for the right opportunity. No, when you do a trade in, call my pops. He'll definitely get you straight. Probably better than I will. He still works at a dealership. Yeah, they did. If you were in Chicago, I say go see my pops. He'd probably make sure you got into a vehicle. He has pool in Chicago to get people taken care of the right way. That I would definitely send you his way if you were that way. So if you ever move to Chicago, let me know. I'll send you my pop's way. He'll get you taken care of. There was something else that we wanted to talk about. Oh, did you watch that video yet, bro? I know, but
the 3i.
The 3i? Which one?
Yeah, the one with CERN and the portal shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You ain't seen that one before?
Nah, I watched it when you once you said, "Oh yeah, I sent you some shit." I bet you didn't see it.
Oh yeah, bro. I've been finding all
types
types of conspiracy stuff to send you. But that wrap it up. That was my Carmax story. Yeah, Carmax is absolutely fucking worse. Yes, they may have great cars, and I'm not saying like every Carmax is bad. Don't get me wrong. Not every Carmax is bad. Just like not every cop is bad, and just not like every black person's bad. You have a few bad seeds here and there. They always say a few bad seeds ruin it all for everybody, but it's not the bad seed. It's more like the mold that grows on it later on after, matures from being a seed. That's what's bad. And that's probably like the worst analogy, but you guys fucking get it.
Yeah, I can't. Sounds like a bad analogy. Nigga, wait, how you, wait a minute.
No, it's like one bad seed ruins it all. Or no, it's one bad apple ruins it all. Yeah, which is true.
A bunch.
Yeah, because once one kid's moldy and that moldy one touches the other ones, all of them are fucking ruined. But yeah, so yeah. Oh, my pops is chiming in. He said, "What do y'all think about these marches and Donald Trump trying to be a dictator and ICE in all these cities?" Marches? I don't know anything about the marches.
The dictators in the city. I mean, dictator overall, yes, he's been on that kind of tear for a little minute now. With the ICE thing, you keep on allowing these Gestapos to pull up and be on some bullshit. That's all right. That's cool, but don't be surprised when motherfuckers decide you say, you know what, since y'all want to play with me, we gonna play with your lives now, and they start earthing ICE agents that's trying to grab them randomly. What happens then? What happens when it becomes a civil war because y'all niggas want to just keep on kidnapping people and thinking that shit is okay, regardless of whatever you think is nigga. They made it here legally, illegally, whatever way you want to look at it. Guess what? They still here doing the jobs that a lot of us Americans overall don't want to fucking do. But
Yeah.
you keep on sending them to kidnap these people. Don't be surprised when some of their lives get taken. And I'm not saying that as a mother, like, oh yeah, I'm wanting that to happen. I'm just saying, don't be surprised, because people gonna fight for, hey, you're not about to just take me away from my family, my actual chance of having opportunity to become something better versus in my country, honestly is ruled by fucking drug lords and shit. Like, what the fuck do you expect? They ran for a reason, motherfucker, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't just, hey, I just want to go to America. Nah, them motherfuckers probably running from them dictators trying to catch a body.
I was like
Fuck
reading the message my pops just put while you were talking, and I had to go back and reread it. I was like, I was having a dyslexic moment, and I was like, titties. I was like, no, he means cities. And Reptar picked up. I read it. I went back and I was like, let me use context clues. I'm thinking he means cities because I think he's speaking into his phone as faster. And so when you're trying to listen and speak, sometimes it distorts what you're trying to say. But he meant cities.
He type titties in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these titties good standing up. Yeah, man.
We definitely do love a good set of titties, though. No,
sure.
No lie there.
Titties go a long way.
My take on it. So I'm not really big on political stuff, obviously for obvious reasons. But my take on it is I don't really think you should really deport people back, unless that's a caveat.
Are they legitimately committing heinous crimes, my nigga?
Yeah.
Because if that's not the case,
if they're being criminals, like criminals murdering, raping, shit like that, like vicious crimes, and they're here illegally, yeah, send them back. I'm gonna fuck. They might come back. There's a high chance they'll be back anyway. But send those motherfuckers back.
Yeah,
now, the ones that are here illegally and they're making a good name for themselves, they're not doing anything criminally wrong.
They paying taxes, my nigga. What the fuck are you upset
let me rephrase that. Being here illegally still is considered criminally wrong. But if they are being a good person of society, working, doing jobs, taking care of stuff, family, and believe it or not, a lot of people like to say people here illegally don't pay taxes. I know for a fact that people who are here illegally, there are some that still find ways to pay taxes. I don't know how it gets done, but they still find a way to legally pay taxes without any problems. And those people should be left the fuck alone. Let them stay here with their families. Sure. Do not fucking bother them. They're not part of the problem. Let's make that clear. If they're working, like,
why people, you know who the real problem is? These fucking domestic terrorists that y'all keep on claiming as the good old boys and shit like that. Yeah, those motherfuckers, those need to be the ones that get the fuck up on.
Well,
those are motherfuckers that need to be deported.
Yeah, those guys too. But the real problem are the ones who aren't working. So, like, one thing I don't agree with what, like, I see with the ICE people is, like, they're going into jobs and they're pulling people out. They're pulling people out who are working. They're throwing them away, and they're like, oh shit. The workforce is going bad. And it was like, oh, that's opening up more jobs for people. You mean for people who didn't work it there to begin with because they didn't apply for those jobs because that's not their fucking cup of tea? Like, just because you took some people who are working, honest working, mind you, they may be here illegally to your standards, but they're working. They're being a good person of society, quote unquote. And they're doing stuff. Leave them the fuck alone. Like, honestly, if they were out like committing a crime, like robbing somebody, shooting somebody, and you caught them, yeah, grab them, snatch them, do what you gotta do. But motherfuckers are here just waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, kissing their kids, wife, whatever it is, whoever their loved person is, their pets, whatever, and they're going to work when they're working, and then they're coming back home. Why is this being modded? Dumb is not. I'm gonna try to prove this, but for some reason an automod stopped this. And we're gonna see, Reptar, if you get muted, it's not my fault. I'm gonna try to prove it though, because I don't think dumb is a bad word. I don't think dumb's a bad word. I don't know why it got flagged. Like, I don't understand that. Dumb is not a bad word. But those people who are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and besides the fact of them being here, quote unquote illegally, if they're still doing their stuff, taking care of their families, paying bills, being a good member of society, minus that one little factor, leave them alone. They're not hurting nobody.
They're taking out jobs. No, they're not.
Yeah,
not
they're
taking out jobs.
they're taking a job that you didn't want to begin with. Like, what are we talking about?
That's
Like,
it.
when you look at
That's the only
landscapers
thing.
and you say, oh, there's a lot of Hispanic landscapers out there. Da, da, da. There's a lot of white Hispanic landscapers out there. There's a lot of black landscapers out there.
Nah, but you know why? We did that shit already. We had our time. We did it for free.
Yeah,
So,
but still,
we're not doing that
if
shit
they're
no more.
willing to do something that someone else is not willing to, it's like, if they're willing to do something that no one else is willing to do, why stop them from doing it? They're still
them
contributing.
let them live.
Your grass is still getting cut, right? Your grass is still getting cut,
This
right?
shit-
Mind you,
this shit
it
look
can be
good
from
'cause of them.
Julio, but it's still being cut. He's doing a fucking good job, right? Leave him the fuck alone. Like, leave him the fuck alone.
Yes. Martin does not deserve your bullshit, bro. Leave him alone.
Like, leave him alone. If he's
I
doing
will
it.
say this though. I know to the Hispanic community that voted for Donald Trump and for him to turn around and be like, nah, get the fuck out of my country. I know that shit got to be the biggest slap in the face of 2025. Cause ain't no way you still feel like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let him deport all the people that's here, and then you end up on the block. But you was born here.
Yeah.
But he still be like, nah, you need to go back the way you came from.
No, that
Like,
is the shit
that's
that be
some
killing me
bullshit.
though. That is the shit that kills me. And bro, it's like the fucking Super Bowl thing, bro. It's like Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican, right? Last I checked, Puerto Rico is territory of the United States, which means that anybody that's born in Puerto Rico is considered American. Like, the fact that idiots, and I'm gonna call them idiots because that's what they are. All right,
That's what they are.
don't do their research to look up where he's from, and you look up he's born in Puerto Rico, that means he's fucking American. Like, if you go to Puerto Rico, you would see a U.S. post office there. So shut the fuck up. He is American. if you can't figure that out,
when-
go get an
when
enema.
they say that
Like-
shit, when they say that shit, they looking for a specific color of skin, not a particular person, like a race, like okay, well you're American, but you're not white American type shit. That's when they say American, they mean just white. They don't mean anything other than that.
You know,
Because everything else got a tag next to it.
facts.
Everything else is hyphenated to some degree.
It was funny. I was sitting there talking to Magda earlier, and she wrote me something like this morning. And I was like half asleep and I read it. I was like, it didn't make sense to me. And she was like, "You're dyslexic and you're trying to correct me on English." I'm like, I'm just trying to get clarity because I read it. It didn't make sense to me. And yes, I may be dyslexic, but if you send me gibberish that I don't understand, I'm going to ask you. It's not like I'm trying to poke fun of you. I'm just trying to get clarity on something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I lost my train of thought already that quickly.
Magda sent you something in the morning that you wanted.
No.
Okay.
It was connecting to something you had just said, but I lost it already. It's gone. It was in and out,
Oh,
just
damn.
like that.
Oh, I get it.
And I'll
I know
probably
how those
remember
go.
it later when we're down in the pod, to be honest.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Usually how it goes.
But I mean, there are Americans here though who don't speak a lick of really good English, myself included sometimes. But they're like, oh, that's what it was. When people, okay, so growing up, being mixed and everybody's like, oh, what race are you? And most people used to say back in the day, before people really got educated on this stuff, they're like, I'm white, I'm black. They're like, oh, that's cool. But when they're talking about race and nationality, they're talking about when they're talking about race, they're talking about nationality. Typically, most people, when they're like, "Yo, where are you from?" Or they say, "What race are you?" I'm American. No, like, are you like from the Philippines? Are you like from America? And they're like, "Oh, you mean my ethnicity?" That's what you want to know. And you're looking like, no, your race. No. and for me, like being dyslexic, right? That's like one of the few things I do understand the concept of is like ethnicity and race. Um, and every time I don't correct people often because I do a lot of fuck ups, but when I do, sometimes I'm like laughing about it, and everybody's like, "Oh, you want to correct me? No, you're an English major." I'm like, yeah, and everybody's like, "You're an English major." I'm like, no, it's just one of those few things that I actually know the difference between. And it's like not knocking people, because a lot of people don't realize that those are two completely different things. A lot of people, for some reason, I don't know where the confusion was, but a lot of people assume that those are both meant to be the same thing, but they're different. Your race, nationality, that's like, if I'm not mistaken, we're like, you're American citizen, you're Polish citizen, you're European citizen, like that. What your birth certificate says, your passport, that's what those categories are for. Your ethnicity is like what makes you, you're Hispanic, you are Asian, or you different parts of that, like Philippine, that, that's what they mean when they're talking about your ethnicity. They're not talking about like, oh, where else you're coming from. I don't know how I did that so quickly by mistake, trying to swap. Yeah, I was trying to see who I was joining. I realized Reptard joined. She joined to her phone, and she was like, "Fuck this! I'm joining. I'm getting this conversation. Hell yeah! Hell yeah!"
Crazy.
She said, "I'm up now. I'm up now for this conversation."
Wait, what the that whole card thing messed me up. It's like with race and ethnicity, since I can speak on that because I've gone through it, even just being out the womb. Because they confuse skin color with race and ethnicity too.
Yep.
Let's go. Because me being extremely light skinned, some as my Caribbean counterparts say, I'm white skinned, but let's not go there. It's been
So is
rough
my dad.
to, you know what I'm saying? It's been rough being that girl to be like, well, slavery is real, right? Do you see what I look like? It's real. But then they're like, oh, but that makes you white. No, it does not.
Well, you'd be
My
an in-house slave.
In house having these babies or cleaning the house because they wouldn't want y'all there. But that's besides the point. My thing is, y'all come at people so much about I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, and the third. But at the same time, no matter what, I'm a black woman. African American is not what I say. I am a black woman. Came from a black that came from a black woman, so on and so forth. Same thing with my dad, who came from a black woman, so on and so forth. There is no trace of anything that you see on my skin that's in my blood. I've checked slavery reports. Shout out to Ancestry. I was able to do the test. I have none of that in my stuff. All my slavery reports came back as mulatto because of my skin color. All my family came out light skinned because of the slavery.
Yeah.
And this race and ethnicity stuff, like, oh, I'm not black, I'm Trinidadian. Oh, I'm not black, I'm Jamaican. Oh, I'm not. You're still black. What are we talking about?
Sure.
Yeah.
I definitely don't understand the I'm not black.
They only come together when it benefits them, though. If you ever truly look at it.
That division alone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
You were muffled for a minute there, so that's why.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, the division alone is causing our own minority groups to be divided. Yeah. From race, ethnicity, and skin alone. That shit pisses me off every freaking day. And if the mods want to be mad about what I'm saying and mute me, please do, because I'm gonna get real ridiculous. Like, at this point, we are still black under the same.
I'm in here. What are you talking about?
Like, what mods? I was like, wait, what?
Are you talking about? I'm in here.
We are still going to be seen as a minority together. There is no separation.
Yeah.
There's no separation. They're snatching these people the same way because we are all under one minority. It's them, then it's us. That's it.
I don't agree with that.
Because you are not one color, that they are considering themselves a minority to be this. Oh my God, I'm a minority now. No, you're not. You never was. You came over here with slaves. Stop talking to me. Stop it.
I was
my family on your back. Like, stop it.
I was sitting there thinking the other day, you know, because Columbus Day just went by, and I was sitting there thinking like of all the controversy around Columbus Day, right? And like this woke, you know, culture that we live in today. That everybody's changing everything for everybody, you know, trying to appease everybody, you know, whatever community you belong to, which we're gonna get into that in a bit. But the yeah. I was doing research on looking at on some of this stuff, and you know, it's not just like, you know, like you were saying, like come together, you know, we're black, you know, come together. That is not the only issue. Sometimes I've noticed the bigger issue is actually on a woman's standpoint of it, because women, not all women, but most women, I've never realized this. I was listening to something on the radio, and you know how women say, "Oh, you know, we women got to band together," and then next thing you know, most of them sometimes when they try to band together, and it's, you know, same thing with the ethnicity groups, when they band together, it's okay, white women, and you know, you have your black women, Latino women, and they all segregate themselves. And then there's that conflict that they have that shouldn't even be an issue. And so, oh, I don't like this person, and I think a lot of it's jealousy. I say, I don't like this person because, you know, she's Latino, she's loud, you know, she does this and that. There's, I don't like this, and one of them was like, I don't like this woman because, you know, she's black, she got a booty and this and that, and the guys look, and then the white girl, then they hit on the white girl like, oh, I don't like this woman because they're taking all my black men. The black men you didn't want, but the black man you didn't want. You mean the guy who tried to holler at you, you shut down, and then you got mad that he walked over, found someone else, talked to them, a different ethnicity. She looked and was like, "You didn't want him? I'll take him." She took him. You're mad that she's with them and they're dating. I think
that shit.
The
that
jealousy,
shit is
bro.
hilarious to me. I'm not gonna front.
No, but it's like the jealousy though.
It legit. No, but the fact of how legit it is that you'll hear the, oh well, you know, oh, they were weak anyway. They dating all the white women, but they were actively trying to date you and women like you, but they were not street enough. They wasn't tough enough. They wasn't hood enough. They wasn't whatever the hell you consider it, because that's not your particular cup of tea. But now this person, somebody entirely different, of a different race, decided, you know what? I like this person. I like what they offer. I like what they're about. They're interested in the same things that I'm interested in. Yes, I happen to be one race and they happen to be another, like one ethnicity, is whatever. Hey, but you know what? Fuck it. We're going to make it work out. And they actually decided to push it through with that person. But now the women who didn't want him, denied him, and disrespected him and all of that shit are now, oh, well, why are you dating that white girl? Well, I was trying to date you, but you just didn't want to fuck with me.
Corny.
I wasn't.
It was
I
corny.
was a cornball.
Bro,
No,
I was a lame, a loser.
So, Gigi, I got a question for you.
These women fuck with me.
All right, I got a question for you because I saw an interview on this.
Yeah.
All right, let's say you're going on a date with somebody, right? And this person's doing all gentleman-like, you know, opening the doors. You know, it's raining at this point. It's like, oh, you want to get wet? He stops and goes to a gas station to buy you an umbrella so that way you don't get wet. And he opens the door for you, and he puts the umbrella out for you and helps you to wherever the dinner location, wherever it is. That way, and trying to ensure that you're having a good time, that you're not getting wet, right? Do you think that makes him a chum? Do you think that makes him too soft to date you? Do you think that's like, that's mature? Like that I feel like that's chivalry right there. Like, oh shit, he stopped and got me an umbrella so I don't get wet.
But they will claim that nigga is corny.
Yeah, exactly. I saw an interview. The guy was like, he's corny.
Let's put the cards on the table. I'm saying it because as a person who knows what that chivalry looks like from dating even regardless of the situations you have with the male figures in your family, I still was treated as such. I was given the first acts of chivalry from the men in my family. That is missing. That is missing greatly because a lot of us don't have that home training of what that chivalry looks like. There's some of us that do have it, but did not voice that opinion of, oh, I think this is the most corniest shit ever that I've seen.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that there's no home training behind it to get the do's and don'ts of what to do when you're with someone that's not your family, this is where we are, which hence makes corny females out here. I'm saying for myself, I am not the corny female. Please open the door for me. Please make
Yeah.
sure I don't trip on a step with a heel on. Please make sure I get in the car and not bump my head because I am taller than most cars. Like, please make sure that I'm good. I appreciate that stuff. Because trust
And that
and
is a
believe
rare
me, what do
thing.
you want to do tonight? What do you want to do? I'll pay for your next dinner. Like, what are we saying? What are we talking about?
And that's a
Because
rare
they
thing
don't
to see.
have the home training. It's weird. It's weird, weirdo energy with these people, and they're making it so that women like me who appreciate that stuff get the toxic niggas that don't do it anymore. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
And it's crazy
It's
because
unfortunate
they
because
want those
we've done this
toxic dudes,
so
and
much.
once those toxic dudes run through them, they're going to the nice guy, and the nice guy's like, "Yeah, I was there. You said I was corny.
Yeah, I
you
know that
didn't
you
want me.
ran.
That was,
I
you got
don't
like
want
3
to
or
fuck
4
that shit.
kids and whatnot. You trying to circle back? Nah, you're wasted
nah,
goods
you
now
good.
at this point. Like, I was there trying to do the gentleman thing and be there for it. And it was like, oh, second chances. Yeah, what about me? You didn't even give me a chance.
Right.
You want a second chance?
Right. What do you mean second?
That's
What
all
happened
under
to the
the
first one?
promotion.
Like, what happened to the
That's
first one?
that's all under your promotion. That's what you promote.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I feel like if we all was just honest with each other, even if the truth hurts, this would save a lot of mental and create healing in a much faster way. These people are not healing because nobody's telling the truth. You're just doing it because you see $1. You only seen it because it's happening. You're only doing it because, oh, I'm getting attention for now, but don't mean I want this man now. Oh, I don't want this female now. So it goes both ways. My thing is, please be honest with people. I am so honest with you. I'd be like, look, I appreciate you for the person that you are. You may not be for me, but I know you'd be great for someone else. As long as that card
Yeah.
is on the table, it won't hurt nobody's feelings.
I blame
It's
the
up to you to
culture.
now
I also
take that
think
initiative because I was honest.
I blame
The-
the culture.
the conversations that are had. So, me personally, I believe if you reject somebody, right, and that person not upset with it, but it's just curiosity. Like, all right, you don't want to date me? That's fine. May I ask why? You know, I'm like, what's wrong with me? And a lot of people's like, oh, how dare you ask that? No, it's clarity. Like, well, if I'm not a fit for you, let me know what I did wrong, because some men, they want to know. They want to know what was wrong, or what was wrong with their approach.
I fix it.
Yes, so they can evaluate themselves, and when they come back to somebody else new, it can be either fixed, or they can look at them like, okay, well, this person just didn't appreciate, you know, the gentleman I was. Because sometimes it's like, oh, this is not going to work. Why? Oh, you're too corny. You open the door for this. Like, being a gentleman? You mean doing things that you should have done for you because it's like the right thing to do, opening the door, doing stuff like that chivalry shit that you think that's weird that I'm doing, so that's why you don't want to talk to me, because it weirds you out because you've never experienced someone to actually treat you and value you. Okay, that's
Sorry,
cool.
my nigga. I watched my pops treat my mother right. So I tried to do the same shit that I saw my father do. It put a smile on my mother's face.
Exactly my point.
I didn't
Like,
know.
yeah, when you do that,
shit was gonna
but when
be a
someone
thing
hits
that
you with
turned
that,
you off.
the negative part of it, what do you do then? Do you say, okay, let me just treat every woman like a dog? Because at some point, so they always say, oh, you know, men are always dogs. No. Men aren't born
No.
dogs. Sometimes men evolve into dogs, nice men at that. Sometimes nice men evolve into dogs when they get tired of finishing last all the time. And it's a sad thing. And it's like, oh, just man up. No, after a while, you get tired of taking L's. So then if you can't
It's
beat
also
them,
what's
you
popular.
join them. You join them. And they're like, and not all men will stay in that form. Some of them will do it and they're like, that's not really me. I tried it. It wasn't it. They go back. They resort back to the, you know, their original self. Then you have some that will do it and be like, you know,
alternative version of that person.
yeah. But
Like a middle ground version where you're a dick to some degree, but you're not a dick where it's like, oh, you're insufferable. It's just enough where it's like, all right, you're mildly hilarious or a bit of annoying, a slight nuisance, but a nuisance that I can tolerate,
and
kind of thing.
But then at the same time, you know, with with this creating the asshole after not, after being told they're corny, the girl that is emotionally available and ready to have it, they find her. And then
Yep.
it's like, oh, I don't want to do nothing with you. I just want to fuck. And I'm like, okay, well then you go fuck the world. I'm gonna stay in my bubble. Oh, but I like you. No, you don't, because you're not available for me.
Yeah.
Go heal.
Yeah.
And vice
And that,
versa,
you know what?
or
And that's be a
go
problem
to
sometimes.
that man. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for the female to the man. If she's over there like, oh, I'm good. I want to do this, and this, but I like that you're giving me the eye. He has every right to tell her, no, I'm here for X, Y, and Z. I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to the communication of being honest and not playing people. We so quick to play people according to this culture and the fast hands of social media that's made it so hard for people that are good. And I consider all of you good people, that we can't even find somebody for ourselves. I mean, Zone is lucky; he's married. But I'm saying at that point before marriage, it had to be a journey. So
Yeah.
it's not.
I was a hoe. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
I was.
thing.
I was a
No,
hoe. I'm
it's
not
not.
gonna lie.
I was. No secret
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It is what it is. I was military. I was definitely a hoe in the military. No, not gonna lie. No secret. Some of those stories. Whoo! But
No, I felt that. It's just, but now we're in the space where people that are married or engaged or in a long relationship are now calling your phone talking about something. I want to be with you. I said, you had your chance, sir. You
yeah,
pick someone else to get out. You stop talking to me. You being weird to me, and now you asking me while I'm being weird to you. Stop the shenanigans. You not going to shenan again? Absolutely not. No.
one of the things I saw that I thought was hilarious at one point was there was this fuck, I lost it again. Damn. No. So
You can stop with your points and missing a man.
yeah, no. The mind of ADHD and dyslexia, unfortunately. Hold on, give me a second. I was reading something that my pops had said too.
That's fine.
And I think that's
Realize
what
my phone
that's what
I have like
went out.
sparked the interest on me. Let me read back what he said real quick. Let's see. Baggage. That is also an issue that mess up most relationships. So, and I would hate to say that it's from both ends, but I see it more so on the women's side, and unfortunately, I don't know why.
Nah, I'm not going front. As a man, I can honestly say it happens. It definitely comes from both.
Well, yeah,
It can
no,
definitely be from both sides.
well, not from his question. I'm talking about when I say baggage. I'm talking about like, okay, let's say you're dating someone, right? And in that relationship that you're dating someone, that person tells you that they were cheated on in their past, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then someone cheated on me, and it was like the whole thing was messed up, and they felt some type of way, and they're like, oh, that's fine. Yeah, well, I'm not a cheater. That's fine. But then every time you turn around, they constantly accuse you of doing something, or say, oh, you're just like such and such. Hey. Why you keep bringing your past bullshit from your prior relationships that fucked you up into this one? I'm not that person.
I did that weak shit once as a dude. I ain't going front. I definitely did that weak shit as a dude one time.
Yeah, but still though, it's like when you're trying to move positive in a person, when the relationship, or someone's trying to push a relationship, and you're actively going, what the hell is this? Actively doing it, and you're doing what they're supposed to do, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and everything's happy, and then that one thing that goes wrong is, and they revert to, oh, you're just like such and such from like 6 years ago. You're all men ain't shit. No. Stop that right there. How long ago have you dated that person? It was 6 some years ago, whatever years ago, how long it is. You can't keep referencing that one instant.
You can't put a motherfucker in the same category.
Yeah, that one instant
individual.
from that one person. Every time something goes wrong, you can't automatically say, oh, you're just like everybody else, and this. You can't do that.
Not going front.
Believe it or not, that will kill a relationship. That will kill a relationship harder than anything.
Kill a relationship. That shit, after, like, if you constantly saying that shit, it starts to come across as you're projecting like
What
this
you're
is
doing
what
wrong.
you're doing, and now
Yeah.
you're trying to find a way of, hey, yeah, well, I think you're cheating. No, you're
Yeah,
trying to find a level of validation for you to be able to get away with the bullshit that you're probably doing.
Yeah.
That's what that starts to come across as, because it's like, yo, you can't keep on putting, oh, that's what such and such did. Okay,
Yeah, you can
see what
make
Yeah.
niggas like.
you can make people lose interest.
When's the last time you saw that motherfucker?
You can drive someone into doing what you're accusing them of doing at that. Because after some people at some point their minds, if you're constantly accusing someone of doing something and you're like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing it, but if you're gonna keep fucking blaming me for doing it, I might as well go ahead and do it so that way I can be like, yeah, I did it. I finally did it. Yeah. But at the same point, then you go into that cycle, they're like, I knew you were just like that person. No, no, no. You're like, really? Like, you pushed me there.
That's exactly what that would do, though.
It's like, you pushed me there.
that don't have a brain. There's really insecure people that don't have a brain because their projections on you are shit that they have going on for themselves.
Yep.
Bad or good or different. They don't even matter no more now. Now it don't matter. But they used to be like something bad happened, they projected on you. Something good happened, they supposed to elevate you. But at this point, they just doing everything under the book with no explanations occurring. So,
Yeah.
you know, people are like, oh, I know you're friends with this person, but I know y'all fucking. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Like what are we talking about? To the point where it's like you're out here proving yourself every day to people that don't matter.
Yeah.
I had to stop that the hard way. Once I found my niche of people that know me outside of my family, that rock with me, have my back, I have theirs, I'm not gonna prove shit to nobody. This goes as
Facts.
far as my place. My workplace respects who I am. I'm talking about after school. Shout out to my after school team. They respect who I am. They know who I am, and they proceed as such. And I do the same for them.
Yeah.
If we are able to find those people and then at some point find the love of our lives the same way, do you understand how much you don't have to prove to people? Why do you think people just drop pregnancy pics and sign off on Instagram? They drop their marriages and sign the fuck off. They drop their this is my girlfriend I'm dating for however long, or whatever you decide to do with your life, and they sign the fuck off. And the going meme is the Skype calls start coming in your phone like, oh, this is who you pick? Yeah, bitch, because you ain't doing shit and you ain't picked me in the first place. So picking me for this person.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
once those people are there and you already have done your work to show them who you are, here comes the validation afterwards. I know I sound like I'm preaching on here, but my motto for 2025 was validation. And trust and believe me, since January 1st up until December 31st, validation is already kicking in. And we are about to hit November soon. So just know there's people that respect you, even ones that don't have the courage to tell you, but they respect you by how they move in front of you. Just movements alone will tell you what's going on. So at that point, I had to learn the hard way of I don't need to prove nothing to nobody. And I'm still learning that. But I'm learning it in a positive light of I've built up enough peace to walk away. And that's keeping it a buck right then and there. You've built up enough peace for yourself to walk away. You don't got to say nothing to nobody.
yeah.
Between you and Jesus, that's it. If you believe between you and Jesus is a conversation, that's it.
Exactly. I think it's like the dumbest thing, in my opinion. So let's say you're in a relationship and you're going through stuff and you're like, oh, I need some advice. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, you're talking to your boyfriend, you're like, I need some advice. I'm gonna go talk to my homegirl. And he's like, your homegirl? Like, yeah. About what? Relationship advice. You're gonna talk to your homegirl who's single about relationship advice? Or you're gonna talk to your homegirl or whatever about marriage advice? Like, to me, in my opinion, like, if the person is single and you're in a relationship, don't go talk to them about relationship advice. They're single. Like,
it ain't really much.
I mean, especially if you've known them for a while and you know that they've kind of always kind of been single. What kind of real solid advice are they giving you for your relationship? Because if you checked, if they've been single the whole time, how are they going to give you some good constructional good, solid relationship advice. Same thing with like marriage advice. Like if you're married and you're like, oh, I'm gonna talk to my friend who's not married about some marriage stuff and hope they give me some good marriage advice stuff. What makes you think they'd give you some good marriage advice if they've never been married and then they're not married? Why would you go take advice from them? Like, don't take advice from people who aren't in the same boat as you. I would probably say when it comes to like those things, because if you take advice from someone who's single and you're constantly taking advice from someone who's single about your relationship, guess what? You're gonna be single right along with them, because they're gonna give you some bullshit advice that's not gonna work for you because they're single and they're giving you single person advice, not relationship person advice. There's a huge difference.
I can't, at the same time, though, although you're absolutely right, I can't even deny that. There are a point in time, depending on the characteristics of said individual, that might be able to give you a different level of perspective that you may not be able to see. Granted, because they might not be in a relationship, but at the same time, they might be able to see certain things a little bit different. Like, now, I'm not saying that's absolute advice that you need to take. Not at all. I'm just saying they might have a different perspective than what it is that you may have at that particular time, because they may not, even if they're not necessarily trying to look in, it's just being that they have different situations and scenarios that they might have been a part of. They can give you, hey, well, maybe that's not how it was intended to be taken. Maybe they meant it this kind of way instead. Or,
I mean, everything can be left for interpretation.
Interpretation.
Yeah. But
Right.
if you're like, say if you're, go ahead.
Creation. I was just saying, hence the creation of Dating with Reptar. Thank you all. Like, this whole stuff right here, Dad knows. We talk about this all the time. It still goes by the people you have and who you did not have to show valid. You didn't have to show yourself or show your ass to everybody. If you have, like, for example, a lot of people do come to me about their relationships or marriages or what have you. I come to them and say, have you talked to this person yet? Did you voice this to this person yet? Are you going through the changes to fix it, or are you going through the changes to get it up to a level where it's compromisable? If you haven't done any of those steps, do not talk to me.
Yeah. See those right there are some good tips. Those are good tips for those who are like, oh, I'm having this, and then your single friend said, oh girl, he's probably cheating on you doing this, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, he might be cheating, he might be doing this, and you start trying to look like, no, they're putting stuff in the universe that shouldn't be out there that you don't need. That's what they're doing.
That's a definite possibility. Yeah, that's a definite possibility. You're right about that.
And even being that person on the channel saying these things, I said, if you want to be somebody's friend, be their friend. Don't be their downfall, because again, a lot of people haven't built up that piece to leave you because they think they need to. So understand, if you're going to be that person that's supposed to help somebody, hence the channel, love my co-host, then be that person. Don't just sit there and be like, well, she might be doing this, or he might be doing that, or blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you're a terrible person for that. If they have not communicated and you're already given a solution without the communication, stop the shenanigans, because you will not shenan again. Absolutely not. I even say it very loudly to when in certain situations of like, I told the girl that I don't want to do nothing, but we still fucking. I said, well, did you stop? Did you stop because she wants something different? Did she stop? If she stopped, then you're mad because she has different morals than you. Why are you mad?
Oh, that right there. That statement's like, you call someone cheating, and it's like, oh no, wait, I caught you giving him a blowjob. I didn't want to. So you're telling me you tripped, his pants came down, and your mouth ended up on his dick? And you didn't want to do it though. No, you know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of my face. I was like, how would you do that trip to have your mouth end up on his dick?
How come you ain't do it to me? That's all I want to know. Why you ain't do it to me?
What'd you say, Reptar?
You're annoying. The trip on the dick is crazy.
No, but if you think about it, it's like, all right, it's like your girl or your girl says that I saw you cheating. I saw you on camera cheating. That says, oh girl, you know what happened? My belt fell off. and I slipped, and she just happened to be there, and I slid right inside. Your pants fell down, your dick got hard, you slid right inside of her, you tripped. That's cute. You gotta give
A
her.
little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was a banana peel. It was a banana peel. Don't. You know what I'm saying?
He said it wasn't him. It wasn't him in the shower. It wasn't him in the corner. It wasn't him in the bed. It wasn't him.
It wasn't me. It's jokes.
Oh man, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. No.
I would
I gotta
never.
check something.
She found me. She caught me red-handed, freaky with the girl next door. She caught me butt naked on the bathroom floor.
Yeah. I mean, those things do
That wasn't
happen.
me.
My pop said, if they gonna give you some advice, they gonna be in the club to shake your ass, and then you gonna be in the divorce court next to them crying. Most men ain't gonna stop if they get like it like that. They're gonna keep coming back for more. She opened her legs. Yeah, true. You know, I think that's actually one of those things too. Like when people cheat, like, I'm not saying you should cheat. Cheating's definitely wrong. But when people cheat and they're like, you cheated on me with this person, you lowered your standards for this person, and the person's like, well, yeah. They're like, why? And I was like, well, I wanted something you weren't giving to me after I reciprocated what I wanted, and you weren't doing it. You still refused, and you wouldn't let me lead the situation, so I just went and got it where I needed to get it from. And they're like, I can't believe you. Like, but were you going to give it to me? Like, no. Well, then you can't be mad, can you? I was like, at that point, can you just leave? But then, but you do have those people who like try to leave certain situations before those things transpire, and they get trapped where they can't leave that situation, and so they just do whatever they need to do anyway because they can't leave the situation. No matter what they try to do, how they try to do it, they can't leave. So just make the best of it. So they do what they do. And I'm not saying that's right by no means whatsoever, but if you're entrapped, then you need to find a way out. And if that is the way out that you find and that works for you, like I said, I'm not saying you should do it, but do what you gotta do. Nowhere am I advocating that you should treat on your significant other.
I was about to say, please put a disclaimer. We love a good disclaimer.
No one said I should do it.
No. I always say don't do it. No, don't do it. But if you do it,
Yeah,
I mean,
we
that's
love
on
a
you.
I'm surprised if that happens,
Like-
though. I get you.
We're like, hey, can we have we're gonna need a disclaimer, right, Matt?
I mean,
Every
that's
time-
like saying the gun shot me. No, the gun didn't shoot you. Someone had to pull the trigger for that gun to shoot you.
Exactly. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because that
Nigga, we ain't got automated goddamn weapons on us. What the fuck?
like that,
can't-
one of our people that get on there, he'd be like, please put a disclaimer. Please put
Yeah.
a disclaimer.
All right. What time is it? All right, guys. We're gonna have to cut this one short. We did 2 hours, but it was good. I just realized what time it was. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Chill with Zone and Company. We had Reptar. We had John here, but he dipped out. We have Reptar here. She was in the chat and she pulled up into the actual Discord. Like I always say, if you guys are in the the chat and you guys are trying to pull up and you want to actually talk instead of the type, let me know. I'll get you the details to the Discord and you can just pull up in and have a conversation sometimes. We didn't talk about the aliens. No, we didn't talk about the aliens this time because we got to get on the conversation. But we will be talking about those next week, actually. I was going to give Thad enough time, actually, to do a little research on it, because I'm sure he actually wants to do proper digging.
Are we talking about the black aliens that's coming to what's the name?
The video I sent you, bro.
They feel like,
yeah.
You talking about the ones that they talking about, they feel like it's the Anunnaki, really, and the Anunnaki actually tall as the black people?
Or they look like dragons, draconians.
Oh, you talking about the draconians? Yeah. I definitely saw that video. The draconians is coming, and they're
coming for their seed.
I was talking about the other ones. See, it's
I sent
crazy
you
how
quite a
this
bit of different
now.
ones, so yeah.
No. But I'm saying like this one is draconians that CERN is talking to, and then mind you, I would not be surprised if we had draconians or reptilian
I mean, that's what they said in that
aliens and shit like
video.
that. I wouldn't
I
be
don't know how
surprised.
credible it
You know
really
what I'm
is,
saying?
but you know, I guess we'll eventually find out.
Listen, why there's a reason why we got the scroll and goddamn MCU and how they supposedly portraying certain people, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna be something that takes place. Nah, I think it's possible in real life too. Fuck it. Why would we be the only fucking? There's no way that we're the only ones here on Earth in any way, shape, or form, let alone in the universe for sure.
Oh,
Hell
we're not
to
the only
the no.
beings in the universe, and I know for a fact, I can guarantee that we're most likely not the only beings on this Earth. Versus contrary belief, and they're like, oh, you motherfuckers crazy. Look, just because you
I'll be
don't see
crazy.
it doesn't mean it's not there. There's a lot of
Mhm.
things you don't see. It's like
You
a
don't-
tree. It's like a tree falling in the woods. Does it make a sound because you're not there? It does.
I mean, you about to start a whole nother conversation. You better leave because you said you gotta go.
Oh.
I mean,
But yeah, let me get out of here. We're gonna cut this one. Tune in for next week so that way you guys can. We're gonna make it a real good conspiracy theory. We're gonna give that some time because I'm sure there's some things he'll probably pull up and send. We'll chop it up and figure it out, and we'll have some more people here, and we're gonna talk about a lot of different other things. But like always, it's been real here for a short time, but a good time. As always, if you guys want to follow No Ego and get him, his commentary on some excellent gameplay or any other of those things, you guys can follow him on Twitch at Slimmest Gaming 1 because he hasn't changed it yet, if I'm not mistaken.
that's crazy because I definitely should have been changed. It should be. I know the name on there is Eno Ego, like the word one.
No Ego. So if
No,
he
his
changed it, he
name is
changed.
Daddy Daddy. Why do we keep saying different things? His
There we
name is
go.
Daddy Daddy. What are we saying?
As you heard it, Reptar, his name is Daddy Daddy still. And then if you want your wrestling scoop or your relationship advice, you guys can head over to Reptar and not just her podcast. Reptar has came out from retirement and she's starting to stream again as well. So if you guys want to watch her play some Borderlands 4 or I think she plays a different game, just follow her on Twitch as well. And she'll give you all those things and I'm gonna, as always, I'll post those when I post the episode with everybody's handles.
As an addition to that, we're turning 5 years old in November. It's been 5 years. So during Thanksgiving break, I'm doing a live stream for the anniversary, just to let you know.
Hey, Thanksgiving break. 5 years of podcasting?
Yes, Dating with Reptile will be 5 years old. We are
Hey.
now in kindergarten.
Look at that. Kindergarten style.
That's
Not
wild.
kindergarten relationships, but
No,
kindergarten style.
we are 5 years old. Like, I'm fast, but
And
I need to
I
cut
have
you
a
off. I'm
fun
just
story
saying,
for
like,
that
you're fine.
for next time too. But
Yeah.
like always, you guys stay frosty, stay safe out there, no matter where you're at. And we'll see you guys next time. Oh, and I'll be back tomorrow for maybe some Horror Monday, probably some 2K. We won't be playing Arc Raiders because that trial ends, but we're gonna have some fun, and we'll be back on next Sunday for another podcast. Till then, you guys stay frosty. I'll holler at you guys later.
Peace, niggas.
Later.